Welcome back, FHL, to, of course, our second edition of FHL Madness. We have seen round one come and go, and we are now in to round two.
But let's not jump too far ahead. We got some big stuff in round one. Biggest news, I think, would be the Boston Bruins.
Yes, as we had talked earlier, seeing some of the highlights and snippets from Boston TV.
That's right. Unfortunately, we couldn't have our camera crew out there in Boston or Montreal. But we did have a fan from behind the glass record some of the gameplay footage, and we'll show that to you right now. If you remember earlier in GM's Corner, we talked about how the Montreal Canadiens cannot play into the Bruins' physical style. If they get trapped into the physical play that the Bruins are known for, Montreal's done. But from these highlights, we can see that the Bruins were just too overpowering for them. And this here is the series-winning goal. Big goal here. And talk about this Ovechkin here.
Well, as you can see, they're trying to do everything. I believe this was Game 7, the last minute of play here, and Boston was up by a goal. And, they did everything they can behind the net to find the man who they wanted to have that puck on that stick in the last second there, and it was Alexander Ovechkin. And unfortunately, you can't get any closer than that. He clangs it off the post. He literally beat Lundqvist clean off the post, and Lundy had to fish it back and cover it up. Unfortunately, that's as close as Montreal got to tying the game. And like you said, Kruger, as you saw snippets there from Ben Lucic, they're quite physical, although I know that Ovechkin had a very good series. After talking to some of the reporters in Boston, they definitely stopped concentrating on hitting Ovechkin, and they took a lot of that physicality on Patrick Kane.
Mm-hmm. Smart move, I would say.
So I guess that really shook Montreal and got them off their game. And when you're hitting or taking out one of your top guys on your top line, there's only so much you can do. And good for Boston. This is their first series win in the FHL in quite some time. In ever. So just gotta check my history books, but according to Kruger, he's got in front of him. This is the first advance that Boston has ever done. So congratulations to Boston and their city. Fortunately for Montreal, it didn't work out for you this season, but good for Ovechkin for stepping up. And, what a comeback, though. What would you say, Kruger? They were down 3-1.
No one thought Boston would pull that off, but they did. They got that leadership. They changed their jerseys, and it worked out for them. So, let's not focus too much on one series. Then we're going to talk about the ones that we follow probably the closest, Buffalo Sabres and the Chicago Blackhawks. Now, Buffalo won that series in 5. That's one game shorter than we both predicted. We thought it would go to Game 6. But talk about that series. What do you think were the key points in that series? Why did that turn out the way it did?
After watching Chicago, a lot of people thought they were going to come out a little tentative, especially questioning their size. But I believe Chicago played a phenomenal series. I think they played a better series than the Buffalo Sabres did. Unfortunately, they weren't very hot on the stick. They missed a lot of opportunities. And the opportunities they did have, Jonathan Quick pretty much shut the door and stymied him just the way Quick can do. They outplayed and outshot Buffalo, I think, in almost all the 5 games, except the one they lost in the shutout, I believe. But, give credit to Buffalo. They really capitalized on their chances. They're a high percentage scoring team. And, unfortunately, Chicago, they played hard. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how statistically dominating you looked on paper, you still didn't win. But I thought Chicago played a very strong series, and, good on Quick. Marian Gaborik had a really phenomenal series as well. A couple of unlucky bounces to start the beginning of the games. Obviously not going to help the team when you're, putting pucks in your own net in the first 2 minutes. I think in 2 games, Game 1 and Game 3. But again, that's the bounces, and maybe some nerves played into that as well. I guess your thoughts on the overall series?
Yeah, that was a good series. He said Jonathan Quick came out big, very big, as a lot of the Buffalo fans expected him to in the first round of the playoffs. But I will point out one quick note here that I was behind the scenes, I was going into locker rooms, and I would say Chicago was surprisingly an unmotivated team. You see the pregame skate when Buffalo was out there the day before and the day before the game's drop of the puck. Chicago, they were just sitting in the dressing room, and they didn't lace up the skates, and they just said, you know what, we'll just play the games. And I think that might have played into why the series went so south for them so quickly. Usually you would see a team, before the first match of the playoffs, playing some practice games and getting their legs all warmed up, but Chicago decided not to do that in that series.
So Chicago's out. Obviously now they're in round 2. Buffalo advanced, and they've already played their series, but we'll get into that next. And I guess now we'll touch base next on the round one series with the LA Kings and the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Yes, not much coverage on that series. There was no articles posted, no video coverage, so I have nothing. I don't know anything about that series at all. All I know it was a sweep by the Kings, and that's all I got for you.
Fortunately for me, I contacted GM Graham to talk to him and interview him quickly over the phone. I mean, they've been a quiet team, and surprisingly, Pittsburgh's been pretty quiet as well. And when it comes to articles and news, I guess it's playoff time, and they're keeping injuries and strategies close and tight knit behind closed doors. But I did get a snippet from Graham, and he said it was a. I asked him if it was a team got swept 4-0, you would think, from the champions, if it was an easy series. Gremlin said no, it was a tight series. There was one blowout game out of the 4, I believe he said, but it was a fantastic series by both teams. He said it was a tough round. Again, with Graham's experience, he was able to close it out really quick. I guess my thoughts on that, I was quite surprised that the series was done in one night, and B, Pittsburgh was swept. I mean, I thought Pittsburgh would put up a better fight. Maybe the mental game with the playoff switch, thinking he was going to play Chicago first, probably maybe played a role into that. But at the end of the day, he got swept. I'm pretty surprised at that result. But, this is real true first playoffs, and I guess that showed.
Inexperience in the playoffs, and it's a totally different game, especially going against the LA Kings. So speaking about facing the LA Kings, we're going to go through the highlights now for that series. LA Buffalo, the series is complete, the series is over, and we'll go through that right now. And then after that, we're going to go through the 3 games that have been played in Chicago and Penguin series.
Game 1, round 2. We got LA and Buffalo. Here we go, folks. Big series, and Buffalo strikes first with the newly acquired Bobby Ryan off the draw, patented shot, goal. Within the few first minutes of the first period, but then here comes a nice play here. Right up to Rick Nash. He responds really quickly, tying up the game 1-1 after the first. Enter the second. Early in the second, Jonathan Quick has it. No, he doesn't. He gives it up. Shot over the net. Nash again to Stammer. Up to Spezza. 2-1. Bad giveaway by Quick. Back to the point. We got Carlson with a point shot. And it gets onto Getzlaf's stick. A broken play, but Getzlaf with a nice feed over to Ryan. Almost gets his hat trick, take the lead, but what a play by Shea Weber, getting his stick on the ice and deflecting the puck away from the net. 9 seconds of the second period, and this Rick Nash line is really turning it on all series long so far, but Quick shutting the door, keeping his team in it 2-2. Early in the third period, Kings strike as Stamkos pounces on a rebound within the first 2 minutes of the third period. Another shot there by Stammer off the post. And another great save here. Rick Nash in all alone and Quick, keeping a 3-2 game. Now with 5 minutes left in the third period, the puck's to the point right to Pietrangelo. And guess who's in front of the net? Reliable Mr. Henrik Zetterberg tying the game. but just in the dying seconds of the third.
On that one, had a good chance in that area. Big hit in the offensive zone. That's going to free that puck up again behind the net to Pietrangelo. Score!
Pietrangelo, the big acquisition, does just that. Gives it up. And too little too late for Petty as he tries to do all he can to stop this empty netter goal as he dives in front of the puck. But unfortunately, Kings take game 1.
Game 2, the Kings are the ones to strike first with a nice tip-in goal by Stamkos there. Big shot. Stamkos gets the tip. And then Karlsson loses the race there. Gonna get the puck, loses the race again. Quick lucky bounce will lead to the second goal. LA up 2-0. Just a few minutes into the first period. Not a good start there, not a good start for Karlsson either. But just a minute later, Kessel's going to take things into his own hands. He fakes a shot, spins around, and that's a goal. 2-1, one-goal game. LA's going to get into some 5-on-3 troubles here, but Buffalo hits the post, and then Rask comes up big. They can't bury their opportunity. Second period now. Jonathan Quick, big save here. Malkin will pick it up, and some more bad luck for the Sabres as Petty gets the poke check, but it still slides in 5-hole on Jonathan Quick. Take another look at that. Got the poke check, but it slid in anyways. Even though Buffalo is out shooting 17-11, they're down 3-1. And now Nash will find the top corner, and it looks like the game is too far for the Buffalo Sabres. With 1 minute remaining, Giroux beats the defenders but misses a net. And with only 14 seconds left, Ryan will put one away for his third of the series, but it's going to be too little too late as LA goes up 2-0 in the series.
Game 3, playing in Los Angeles Staples Center. Buffalo making a few lineup tweaks to hope to change their lady luck here, and they put Ryan Getzlaf, the captain of the team, on the first line and putting Giroux down. Hopefully something works out here for Buffalo, and it looks like it does early as Getzlaf reads the play. Great poke check, finds Karlsson. Karlsson, who's had a mediocre series so far, opens a scoring, making it 1-0. LA trying to answer right back. Breakaway here, but Quick. Great play there. Pietrangelo recovers. LA gets themselves into some penalty trouble. Although shorthanded, almost get the opportunity to score here. But Jonathan Quick with a phenomenal poke check, and Getzlaf finding Bobby Ryan, the hot Bobby Ryan. Watch this move, folks. Fakes, spins, finds Kessel. Bang, back of the net. What a play by Bobby Ryan. Not only can he score, but I don't know where he got these moves. I didn't see that in Chicago. Zetterberg now plays it up to Hossa. Hossa not scoring much in this series, and there again, Rask making it still keeping it 2-0. Bad line change here, but Quick shuts the door. Broken play, Giroux brings it to the front. Hossa banging, gets his first goal of the series, making it 3-0. All these goals are getting scored in the third period. We got less than a minute left to go. Great play, Galchenyuk throws it to the net. Sagan has it. Nice move by the youngster. Looks like we're going to have a shutout here, but no. Great play by Stahl. Holds, keeps, shoots, and Quick just quiffs on that one. Big win for Buffalo. 2-1 in the series.
Game 3 is going to start off early in this first period again. Nice bounce pass here by Kessel. Pass in front, Giroux makes it 1-0. 12-minute mark. Now, Hossa across to Getzlaf, Zetterberg, and a great poke check there will save a goal. Buffalo is all over the Kings here in the beginning of this game, but Rask shuts the door. However, LA is going to do what LA does best and score a goal to tie it up. Now we're in the second period. Pass across, big save by Rask again. Now a horrible line change finds a breakaway, but Quick shuts the door, keeps it 1-1. Now cue the Tuukka Rask show on a power play. Watch these saves by Tuukka. Big diving save. And then again, keep in mind, this is all in the same power play. Tuukka can't solve him. Just to end the power play, boom, and right after that penalty ends, that happens. That sequence by Tuukka Rask might have been a series changer. Third period, the same story. Nothing will get by this guy. Then with just 45 seconds left, Bobby Ryan, who's having a great series, misses an open net. And then Tuukka puts an exclamation mark on this game, and the Kings take a 3-1 series lead.
Game 5, back in Buffalo. Buffalo trying to spice things up again. doing whatever they can, and they change their jersey, taking a page out of Boston's playbook here. Not a great start here for Buffalo, as Buffalo, Bobby Ryan, he turns it over to Landeskog, and he blows that shoulder shot right over Jonathan Quick. But Buffalo tries to respond. Weber with a bad giveaway on Tyler Seguin, cannot beat Tuukka Rask. Here's another broken play here. Nash coming all alone, 2-0. Quick, what a poke check. Zetterberg trying to respond quickly here. Giroux, Hossa cannot beat Rask. Unfortunate icing there. As you can see, Buffalo's just not having the luck. Galchenyuk wins the icing, cannot get it, and Wyers just pokes it. And guess what, folks? On the ensuing face-off, little shot there, Kadri finds the net. Broken screenplay, Quick. You can see the frustration on him. Buffalo sends Marian Hossa out. Cannot beat Tuukka Rask. Rask is on his game this entire series. More bad luck for Buffalo. Shattenkirk tries to ring it around the boards. Hits the net. Finding Barry McGrattan all alone. McGrattan. Snipe. What's he doing on the ice in the playoffs? Who knows, but he scored. Buffalo trying to respond. Broken play there. And you can see Zetterberg scoring. Make it 3-1. Unfortunately, you can see the coach right there, Famox, not happy. Buffalo loses the series in 5.
Game 1 in this series between the Chicago Blackhawks and the Pittsburgh Penguins. Halfway through the first period, Chicago was on the power play. Watch out for this play because you know you're going to see it all playoffs long. Marian Gaborik off the draw, snipes that one top corner, 1-0 game. Now look at this. Dion Phaneuf tries one time to get Perry to fight. He doesn't want to take any of that. Second try. Here we go. Perry, Phaneuf. Dropping the gloves. One punch, 2, 3. Look at this. Back and forth. Just punch each other in the face. Who will come out on top on this one? Perry. Buries a fist into Phaneuf's big forehead and he goes falling down. You can see the nerves in the Pittsburgh Penguins here as they're looking for a pass, and they just dump it down into their own zone. No one there except for Pekka Rinne picks it up. However, halfway into the second period, the 10-minute mark, Kronwall will tie up the game with a one-timer, wipes the stick, and it's a 1-1 game. Now, on the rush, a funny bounce off his own teammate, but Pekka Rinne makes a huge stop there. Unfortunately, 3 minutes left. Gives it right to Dion Phaneuf. He lost the fight, but he might have just won the game right there with that horrible giveaway. 30 seconds left. Penguins trying to get back into it. Miller comes up big, and that would be it. Chicago leads the series 1-0.
Game 2 in Pittsburgh. Great save there by Pekka Rinne. As you can see, the Chicago Blackhawks come out storming. Huge hit by Bogosian, trying to rev up this team physically, and he does so. As you can see, Keith here makes a great defensive play, but he coughs it right up to the wrong person. Kessler, Johnson scores. I believe that was only Pittsburgh's fifth shot in the first period, as Chicago was all over Pittsburgh. But Pittsburgh ends the first period with a 1-0 lead. As you can see here, Pekka Rinne's work in net, as Chicago just dominated here, folks. Unable to penetrate that goaltender. Here's some stats early in the first there. 10-5 of the shots. And here we go. Second period. Great play by Kessler. Finding the outlet pass. Back to Kessler. Shoots. Misses the net. Broken play. Perry picks up the loose change and finds Zach Parise. Parise was a big acquisition for Pittsburgh. And he's making it count right now, folks. 2-0. Another broken play here. Shot by Perry at the goalie. And then Perry runs Phaneuf. Phaneuf was like, what the heck? I'm going to drop. Let's go again. They fight right in the corner. This time there's no haymakers. But who wins it? As you can see, Perry's one tough bloke, and he uppercuts the big forehead of Phaneuf. That guy's forehead's an easy target, and he drops Phaneuf again in their second tilt. These guys been at it all series long. Unfortunately for Pittsburgh, that did not turn the tide, as Chicago used it as motivation. The big beast Kopitar cuts through the middle, snipes it top shelf. 2-1. On the ensuing, literally 2 minutes later, on the ensuing faceoff, Kane taking a page out of Gaborik. Boom, scores 2-2. Just like that, Pittsburgh, you can see the fans in the stands just sagging their seats. Pittsburgh doing all they can. Jordan Staal fakes. Nice play by Staal, but Miller's there to keep it 3-2 game. End of the third period. Regulation does not solve anything. We go into overtime. And in overtime, Pittsburgh trying to end the game as quick as possible. As they dump in, broken play, Phaneuf nailed by Perry again. Perry looking for the outlet. Shoots it, hits Kessler. Kessler on the rebound, and Ryan Miller stymies him. And that was the end of Pittsburgh's flurry in overtime, as Chicago has been all over him. As you can see, Datsuk, 1 strip, 2 strip. Great play by the Magician. Finds Kopitar, and he dings it off the post. Here's the costly play. Cronwall on Gabrick. They've been on him all night. Boarding play. This will cost them big time in overtime. Bad play by Cronwall, as you can see. Great play by Bogosian, finding Vander Kane, who's been strong all series long. Finds the Beast Kopitar. Broken play. Guess who in front? Matt Duchene. 2-0 in the series. Chicago. Great game. Great intensity by both teams. And that's it, folks. 2-0 Chicago. Game 3. Chicago up in the series 2-0. Now they take it back to the Windy City. For the first time, Chicago not having home ice advantage for as long as I can remember. And they start off quite well here as Andy Kopitar drops it in. But watch Gabrick. He comes in for the puck and he finishes his check. And Mr. Tough Ryan Kessler goes after Gabrick. Gabrick's had a target on his back this entire season. And look at Kessler. Look at this goon. Comes up. And he's all proud that he's beat up a sniper. I mean, come on, Kess. Well, do something more for your team, why don't you? And here we come again. The first line. Chicago's first line has been on fire. Gabrick to Datsuk. Short shots. And then Gabrick finishes it. 1-0. Chicago Blackhawks. Their top line's firing on all cylinders. Johnson with a shot. Broken play with 5 seconds in the period. And Kessler throws it in net. And Ryan Miller just whiffs right through his leg. You can't be letting goals in like that, Miller, especially in the playoffs. The first line again attacking. Datsuk to Keith as he throws it in front. Broken play. Kopitar with a shot. Save Pekka Rinne. Great save by Pekka. Again, 3 seconds left in the third. Guess what they're going to try? Gabrick with a quick shot, and Rinne gets his glove on it. Huge save for Pekka Rinne. Keeping it tied. Early in the third. Great play here by Matt Duchene. Finding Kopitar in the slot. Kopitar makes no mistake, and he's showboating that celebration. 2-1 Hawks. But watch this play here. This is all Zach Parise. Parise, the man, the big acquisition here. Watch him chop the puck to the point, keeping it alive. Kessler, back to Suter. Suter slow plays to the front. Parise ties it. But Evander Kane has none of that. Last 9 seconds. Kane, what a play right there. Fakes the shot, drops it to Duchene, and he makes no mistake. Duchene, 2 games in a row, game winners. Guess what, Hawk fans? Hawks up 3-0 in the series. There you have it, folks. Huge highlights from games round 2 from LA and Buffalo, and huge upset, I believe. Guess I wouldn't say an upset, but definitely a surprise on how quickly Buffalo went out. Here we go, round 2 as well, as we feature Chicago and Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh down. They haven't won the game yet in the playoffs. They're down now, 3-0 to Chicago. I guess you were there, the beat reporter. I guess your thoughts on that huge series loss for your home team.
Yeah, the Buffalo Sabres, they went down early and they could not get back up. Obviously, you saw they ran into a lot of troubles beating Tuukka Rask, who played a phenomenal series. And actually, we have a little quote from after the game, after the press conference. And here's what Buffalo GM and coach Fanox had to say about the defeat. And I quote, "I do not believe our team deserved to lose Game 3 and Game 4. We outplayed them, and we should have won that game. Fortunately, we ran into a hot goalie, Tuukka Rask. However, I advise LA Kings to use their break wisely, because if we find them in the finals, they will not have it as easy." Big quote there from GM Fanox. Think about that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Fanox definitely was very upset. Obviously, going out the way they did, they were very frustrated. Apparently, through some of the reporters there was things being thrown in the dressing room, from what I heard. And it takes a lot for to get a GM that rattled to actually be that frustrated. But it is the playoffs. Every GM has the right to be pissed off, And obviously, when you're facing a hot goaltender, your team's doing their best to win, and you can't beat a goalie. That's the most frustrating thing.
Mm-hmm. I actually saw some reporters in the room saying that he was punching the wall and he actually injured his knuckles.
That's pretty crazy. So there you have it, folks. That's a very upsetting loss, and that quote, is definitely a lot of anger, and definitely he meant what he was saying. Back, I guess now to the Chicago-Pittsburgh series. I guess a series that we thought might be a little closer, especially Pittsburgh having home ice advantage. But watching the games, Pittsburgh is just not the same team as they were in the regular season. I don't know if it was this 4-0 sweep to LA that's actually made them question their game. But to me, Pittsburgh, is either they got surprised on how physical Chicago has been. They're a little bit more aggressive coming in the playoffs. And Pittsburgh just seems to be hanging on to the puck and looking for plays as opposed to making plays. I don't know. What did you think of that? Some of those highlights there.
Well, I mean, I wasn't at the games. I was in Buffalo. But watching some of those highlights, it seems like all the games were very close. It came down to little mistakes at the end. Game 1, it was the big giveaway, obviously, by Rene. I'm pretty sure he wants that back. That's a game that shouldn't have ended the way it did. Game 2, overtime, bad play on the hit that caused the penalty that would eventually turn into the goal. And in Game 3, just another bad play to go up for the hit and got deked and beat by Matt Duchene. So it all came down, all the games, the second game was overtime, the other two games were coming down to the last minute to decide the game. So I couldn't really speak for how they've been playing the entire game, but from what I saw, the series looks closer than the score actually reads.
Fair enough. And, we got Pittsburgh, they're still alive. Obviously, they got to, have a miracle come their way if they want to come back. They got Game 4. I believe they're going to be on the ice in a few hours. Update you in the next day or so what happens. Basically, right now, what it's looking like is LA's sitting pretty. They're waiting to see what happens. Buffalo is also waiting for the outcome of the Buffalo will be waiting for the outcome of the wild card and whoever wins this series. So basically, Boston's waiting for this series between Chicago and Pittsburgh. The winner of that takes on the wild card. The winner of that series takes on number 2 seed, which is Buffalo. The winner of that then takes on the team sitting in the finals automatically, which would be the LA Kings. Now, unfortunately for Montreal, they lost, and however, they do have the most lotto balls.
Mm-hmm. However, Montreal's so stacked, and right now they can only protect 9 players. Am I correct on that?
I believe it's 8 players. I believe it goes first place is full protection, second place full protection, third place 15 players, fourth place 12 players, fifth place 10 players, and sixth place 8 players.
So in this case, I do not think the lotto balls are worth the punishment for Montreal. I mean, look down the lines. We talked about it in GM's Corner. They're so stacked. The front, the back, and in the cage with Carey Price. I mean, one of those 8 picks has to go towards Carey Price if he wants him to be protected. Goalies are not excluded from selection from the champion, so it's looking pretty bad. Hopefully he can pick up something good in the draft because he's going to be losing something huge. And I can guarantee you the champion will be going to Montreal to make their pick.
Definitely. I mean, you look up and down the roster. Let's say, Pittsburgh ends up being 5th place. Pittsburgh has a good roster, but he's got enough players to protect. Mm-hmm. Boston will have enough players to protect. Montreal, you're in trouble, my friend. I mean, like Kruger said, Price has to be one of those guys to be protected. And Price is a guy that, if I had first place, I would not mind taking Price as my consolation prize there for winning the championship. Price is the backbone of the team, and like you said, he's probably been the Vezina winner maybe 2 straight years in a row now.
Yep, 2 straight years. This year, last year, you break it down. You protect Price, you protect your first 3 forwards, your 2 defensemen, and you're already at 6, you can protect a forward and a D. You pretty much have your second line is up for grabs. And on Montreal's roster, that's huge.
There you have it, folks. That's why it is crucial to not finish last. Obviously, Montreal didn't do it on purpose. It was unfortunate. But when you're up 3-1 in the series, you got to close that out. Unfortunately, it did not work out for Montreal, and they're going to see themselves probably going to be picked on at the end of the season. Mm-hmm. So with that said, I guess we're just going to... You have any further remarks regarding the league?
No, that's about it. The draft's in a week. Am I correct?
That is correct. Oh, regarding the draft, also remember that your picks, you are able to pick people from previous drafts or even later than that, as long as that player is not over 23 years old and has not ever played for an FHL team. That means if Cam Fowler is available, you can't pick him because he was once released by an FHL team. Player, you can only use your draft pick from someone who has not been picked ever in the league. And everyone's pretty up to date. I mean, the new expansion team, Pittsburgh's been in the league now for 3 years, so he's pretty much, he should know who's been on and off that team. On the website, all the free agents that have been dropped are on the website. So if that guy's name's on there, that means more or less he's been on an FHL team. Again, so everyone needs to freshen up on their draft skills. It's not as deep a draft, but there are some intriguing prospects in this group, and it's going to be exciting, most especially towards the final spin here. So stay tuned for the next episode of FHL Madness. We hope you liked the highlights. It's a lot of work goes behind it, but we enjoy it. We love it. This is our game. We'll catch you on the next episode.
Next one, probably look to see the highlights for the finishing of the Chicago series. Probably we'll try to include the entire wildcard series, and that will be next episode. And then the following one will, of course, be the semifinals between Buffalo and the winner. And for the finals, depending on who's in the finals, will most likely be live streamed for everyone to see on the spot. No highlights needed. And that's that. We'll see you then. I'm Freddy Krueger.
I'm Saz Boogie.
Catch you in the next one.